Well now, once again it is indeed a pleasure to be invited back into your vibrational level, and we would like to take a moment to express our greetings to each of you, and as well to express our gratitude for you once again offering us this opportunity to enter into your vibrational level and to interact and to share with each of you. Now, before we begin, we would suggest that there exists for each of you the opportunity to be involved in what we like to refer to as a silent communication, or a telepathic interaction and exchange of information with other entities that would be with us on this afternoon. And you will find that as a result of the energy that each of you have participated in creating in this particular area, in this group session that you're involved in, you will find that, once again, as a result of that energy, that it's quite easy for you to alter your consciousness and to enter into a meditative state, and in that altered state of consciousness have the opportunity to interact and to share once again with other entities that would be with us on this afternoon, or indeed that portion that you like to refer to as that higher self, or that spark of consciousness that you are. And once again as well, many times the information that you receive in that altered state of consciousness is much more pertinent to your individual needs and desires than is this information that we attempt to express through this rather limited use of a vocabulary. And so we would encourage each of you to take advantage of that opportunity to allow yourself to alter your consciousness and to enter into that meditative state and participate in that silent communication, in that telepathic interaction and exchange of information. And as we have suggested many times, you may not feel that you have experienced that interaction, and yet we would suggest once again, should you pay attention to your intuitive suggestions in your so-called future, that there will be opportunities for you to receive suggestions, if you wish, from that spark of consciousness that you are, to enhance the reality that you create and experience. And so, take advantage of that opportunity to alter your consciousness and to enter into that meditative state. But as always, of course, that choice is yours, absolutely. Now, you exist in what we like to refer to as a vibrational level. It doesn't matter what terminology you use, it's just simply one we utilize because it gives us the opportunity to explain that there are multiple vibrational levels, and you choose to tune into this rather unique vibrational level in which you put in place that electromagnetic type of energy that we refer to as a veil that limits your capacity not only to understand who and what you truly are, but you limit your capacity to understand the energy and methods that you utilize to create this reality that you experience in your awakened consciousness state. And that veil, that electromagnetic type of energy, exists throughout all of your consciousness levels while you continue to exist in this vibrational level. There are some basic facts that we continue to bring to you and to express to you. One is that you are in this vibrational level by choice. You're not put here or forced to be here or required to be here. You chose to be here, and you continue to choose to remain in this vibrational level. It's important to understand that you choose to be here. It's important to understand that you choose to put in place this electromagnetic type of energy that limits your capacity, once again, to understand who and what you truly are, and to understand how it is that you create and sustain this illusionary reality that you exist in this vibrational level. This veil makes it appear that you are somehow separated from your spirituality, and you cannot be separated from your spirituality. It's who and what you are. You hide from it. And this electromagnetic type of energy does a very good job of hiding you from the understanding of who and what you truly are. In all levels of consciousness, once again, that you experience in this vibrational level, but particularly in your awake consciousness state. So you choose to exist in this vibrational level. You choose to create the reality that you experience. You choose to hold the beliefs that you have. At some level of your consciousness, you choose to create the reality that you experience. That can become difficult for you to grasp. We understand that absolutely, particularly when that vibrational level creation process that you're involved in results in what you refer to as a less than positive or a negative type of experience that you're involved in. But nonetheless, you choose to create this reality as a validation of your beliefs and belief systems that you hold. And once again, we have suggested that there are three levels of belief systems. You have your human consciousness belief system, the societal belief system, and the individual belief system. This human consciousness belief system is the level at which you agree as a human consciousness, as a one, if you wish, to put in place this electromagnetic type of energy that limits your capacity to understand who and what you truly are. It's also at that level of beliefs and belief systems that you choose to put in place various limitations on what it is that you can experience in your so-called awakened consciousness state. The limitations, once again, not only of understanding who and what you truly are, but of understanding, particularly in your awakened consciousness state, how it is that you create this reality, and to various degrees throughout all of your other levels of consciousness. Also, in that human consciousness state, you are one. In that human consciousness state, you are all interconnected. There is no separation. And it becomes difficult for you to grasp. We understand that it's very difficult, particularly when you're involved in some type of a reality where you feel that you are somehow isolated or all alone or different from the rest. But you are not separated. You are not all alone. At some level of your consciousness, you are all interconnected. At that level of your consciousness, where you put in place these human consciousness belief systems, you all agree to participate. And it becomes very difficult for you to step outside of those human consciousness belief systems. It's a consensus that you, as a one, as the human consciousness, agree to put in place and to sustain and to participate in. So once again, it becomes very difficult for you to step outside of the human consciousness belief systems. And yet you are all connected. There are basic realities that you're experiencing that are the result of this human consciousness collective beliefs and belief systems that you choose to put in place. It's important that we emphasize that you choose to put in place. There's not some entity out there that's directing or suggesting or facilitating this reality that you experience. You choose to put in place the limitations. You choose to put in place the human consciousness belief systems. And we've used the analogy that the human consciousness belief systems, to give you an example, would be like your laws of physics. But it's much more complicated and much more deeper than just your laws of physics. You see, you're involved in what we refer to as a new age and new energy that you're utilizing to influence and create your reality from your so-called conscious and awake state in a manner that was very difficult in your so-called past. You're also beginning to become aware that your so-called past can be altered and changed as readily as you alter and change your future. And once again, that becomes very difficult because you see, one of the beliefs and belief systems that are involved in the human consciousness belief system is your belief in time and space. And we're suggesting that time and space are illusionary. We're not only suggesting that it's illusionary, we suggest that you participate in and alter your past as readily as you participate in and alter your future. And once again, that becomes a very difficult concept for you to grasp, particularly in your awakened consciousness state, and to varying degrees in all of your other levels of consciousness. Although you understand absolutely in some of your altered states of consciousness, in your meditative states and in your dream states, the time becomes more of an illusion. You can, for example, experience what seems to be a huge passage of time, a lifetime, in your altered state of consciousness, which occurs in your so-called conscious state of measuring time in a matter of a few moments. And so time becomes more illusionary, or you at least have that experience and the opportunity to experience time as an illusion while you're in your altered state of consciousness. And in order to grasp that understanding, we would recommend that you, in your altered state of consciousness, utilize meditation, in which state you alter your consciousness while maintaining awareness of what it is that you're experiencing, so that you can bring that memory back into your conscious state and be aware that time is illusionary, and that you can change your past as readily as you change your future. Not only can, but do. And so, in this new age and new energy, you have the understanding at some level of your consciousness that you have altered the energy that you utilize to facilitate and create this reality that you are experiencing in your awakened consciousness state. And so what you hold in your consciousness state influences the reality that you experience. Now, it's rather interesting that you, in your awakened consciousness state, hold various desires, realities that you would like to experience, and yet you don't really believe that it's possible for you to experience them at some level of your consciousness. You don't really hold the expectation that you will experience them. And yet, by holding that perception in your conscious mind, you not only enhance and bring into creation the possibility that you can experience those realities, but you, in your awakened consciousness state, simply by holding those particular desires in your conscious state, influence the endorphins that are released within your system, the chemicals that create a feeling of joy, if you wish, a feeling of well-being. Even though, once again, you in your awakened consciousness state don't truly expect that you will have the opportunity to experience all of those particular activities that you desire. And so holding positive thoughts, if you wish, desires in your awakened consciousness state influences your physical being, creates wellness, creates that feeling of joy, if you wish, of happiness, some of the very desirable and necessary elements to be involved in love and self-love. And so we would encourage you, even though you may not believe that you would experience all of those particular activities or desires, that it's beneficial to hold those thoughts in your conscious mind. Some would refer to it as positive thinking. It doesn't matter what terminology you put upon it. Now, conversely, and it's important here to understand that the spark of consciousness that you are does not judge whether or not what you experience in your awakened consciousness state is right or wrong, desirable or less than desirable, good or bad. That's a judgment that you apply in your awakened consciousness state. It does not apply at the level from which you create this reality, that spark of consciousness that you are, that unconditional love base that you create this reality from. And so, once again, when you hold that particular thought or desire that you would view as being very beneficial and desirable, something you would really like to experience, And the spark of consciousness that you are, once again, attempts to create that reality based upon what you believe, based upon your expectations. But nonetheless, the mere concept of experiencing that reality, once again, is very beneficial to your so-called well-being. Now, it's once again important that you understand that that spark of consciousness that you are does not judge right or wrong, desirable or less than desirable, but rather gives to you that which you desire. And so conversely, if you hold thoughts in your mind of events that may or may not happen, that you experience as being negative, if you have fears that you consistently hold in your conscious mind, if you fear things, even though you understand the possibility of them occurring is very slim, but nonetheless you hold the fear, you hold the thought, you hold the negative thoughts. It's the what if. You don't think that you would be able to cope with or handle certain situations. And so being the opposite in your so-called awakened consciousness state is being viewed as positive or negative. These negative thoughts and feelings that you hold in your conscious mind, even though you don't really expect that they will be borne out and you will have that experience, nonetheless, holding the fear, holding the negativity, holding these thoughts of realities that you do not desire to experience, not only enhances the possibility of them being created, but holding the thought in itself brings a disruption, if you wish, to your physical being. And so you begin to experience levels of stress. You begin to experience levels of anxiety that are the result of holding those fears, those negative thoughts that you understand absolutely have a very, very minor chance of becoming a reality. But you fear the possibility that you might have that experience. And you hold it in your consciousness as a fear. You hold it in your consciousness as a negative reality. And once again, the spark of consciousness that you are does not judge whether it's right or wrong, but gives to you that which you desire, validates the belief you hold. And by holding those so-called negative thoughts, by holding those fears in your conscious mind, you disrupt the chemical balance in your body in a negative way, and you bring forth those feelings of stress, those feelings of dis-ease, those feelings of anxiety. You create your reality. And so it's important, once again, that you understand that it's your choice. It's not something that's inflicted upon you. It's your choice. The reality that you experience is a reflection of the belief you hold. You put in place in your altered states of consciousness many times where it's very difficult for you to understand and to hold the understanding of where that particular belief came from. But in your altered state of consciousness, and many times in your between incarnational states, when you die, in other words, and you decide that you're going to reincarnate, you choose various possibilities and probabilities for realities that you can experience in that particular incarnational period. And when you're making that choice, you don't judge whether it's right or wrong. It's an experience so that you can have that experience and experience the intense range of emotions and feelings that are incorporated and that are produced by having that experience. And the spark of consciousness that you are does not judge whether it's right or wrong, but gives to you that which you desire. And so in your altered state of consciousness, you choose. You choose the realities that you're about to experience. You put in place the beliefs and the belief systems. And you in cooperation with the other entities that you're involved in a particular incarnational period, choose which family group, if you wish, to become involved in. And everyone agrees. Everyone participates in that creation process. And at the level of consciousness from which you create this reality, you rejoice in that creation process. Even though in your awakened consciousness state, you may view it as being negative. Now, in your so-called old age and old energy, in your so-called past, if you wish, it was very difficult for you to alter those beliefs and belief systems that you put in place in your between incarnational states. Very difficult for you to step outside of that reality and to reverse what was a probability and change it just simply into a possibility, to alter the very makeup of your DNA. Not impossible, but very difficult. However, in this new age and new energy that you, as a human consciousness, have chosen to put in place, once again, it's important to understand that you choose, because it's the key to understanding that it's possible for you to change. And so, in this new age and new energy where you have chosen to alter the energy that you utilize to create and sustain this illusionary reality that you experience in your awakened consciousness state, you have put in place the possibility to consciously influence your reality. Consciously influence your reality in a manner that was very difficult for you to accomplish in your so-called past. The irony, once again, is it's a human consciousness belief system. It's one that you agree to at that level of your consciousness from which you create this reality, and consequently, very difficult for you to step outside of. And so, what you hold in your conscious thought influences your reality. Not only the reality that you experience in your day-to-day activities, for once again, as we have suggested, you can hold these so-called what you would view as being desirable events to occur in your life, and while you may not experience them, nonetheless, it affects your physical being. It affects your DNA. It affects the energy that surrounds your DNA and takes what could be a possibility and turns it into a probability, or conversely, takes a probability and turns it back into a possibility, and you change your physical being. Absolutely, by the thoughts that you hold in your conscious state. And it doesn't matter whether you in your awakened consciousness state view it as a positive or negative from the level of which you create this reality. That spark of consciousness that you are does have no such judgment on the reality you experience. And so conversely, when you hold what you in your awakened consciousness state would view as these so-called negative experiences that may or may not happen, but nonetheless, you hold them in your awakened consciousness state. And in this new age and new energy, it once again influences the energy that surrounds your DNA. It influences the energy that you utilize to create this reality. And instead of the physical body experiencing a well-being, it experiences a validation of the fears that you hold. And you experience dis-ease and discomfort. You experience stress and anxiety levels, even though many times, once again, the fears that you hold are never brought into reality. You never really experience them, but it's an illusion. It's important to understand that it's an illusion. And so it's not just the experiencing, but the holding in your conscious mind that influences your physical being, influences the energy once again that surrounds your DNA, and you alter it. You actually change the makeup of your DNA. So it's important to pay attention to what it is that you hold in your conscious mind. And it's a choice. As difficult as it may seem, it's a choice. And if you don't like your reality, change it. If you don't like your belief systems, change it. You change your past as readily as you change your future. Don't dwell on it. Change it. Accept it. Forgive it. Release it. And change it. And bring into your reality positive thoughts. Bring into your conscious mind those desires, even though you may not experience all of them. Nonetheless, the desires for which you view as being a very positive, very desirable experience. What do you believe? It's such a simple, simple concept, and yet it creates your reality. When you embark on this journey, when you begin to go within inside, to alter your consciousness, when you begin to get a grasp of the understanding of the illusionary reality that you experience in your awakened consciousness state, and when you begin to hold the beliefs that what you hold in your conscious mind influences your reality, your whole perception of this reality changes. You begin to understand its illusionary nature and the possibility for you to alter it and change it so that you can feel and experience well-being within your physical being. And when you embark on that journey, many times the relationships that you're involved in change. You begin to slowly alter those relationships. You begin to find that others simply not only don't agree, but without even mentioning any type of agreement or disagreement, simply become less involved in your reality, in your life, in your lifestyle. Conversely, you begin to experience a sense of well-being. You begin to experience others recognizing within you that sense of well-being. You begin to love yourself consciously. You begin to like who you are. You begin to realize suddenly as you walk down the street, people will smile at you without any reason at all, and it's because they recognize at some level that sense of well-being, that sense of knowing who you are, that sense of liking who you are and loving yourself consciously, and it radiates and affects the others that surround you. So we would encourage you to utilize that opportunity to alter your consciousness, to go within inside while maintaining your awareness of what it is that you're experiencing, and to direct what it is that you desire, to deal with those so-called past lives, if you wish, that you believe are influencing this reality, and to change them, to understand that you create your reality. You are in control. That the thoughts that you hold within your conscious state influence the realities and experiences you have in your day-to-day activities. It's a choice. It's your choice. There's not some entity out there directing your life. You can have that if you wish. We do not suggest for an instant that it's not possible for you to hold different types of beliefs. If you wish to believe you're not in control, you can have that. It's not right or wrong, it's your choice. If you wish to believe that your past is something that you can't alter and it has this unending impact on your reality, you can have that. It's not right or wrong, but it's important to understand that it's your choice. It's not something that's afflicted upon you. It was your choice to have that experience in the first place, and it's your choice and your opportunity and the possibility for you to alter that. It's your choice. Once again, we come back to that particular statement that it's important to understand that it's your choice. You were not put on this earth because you were subjected to some type of reality that you had to experience. If you wish to hold that belief, you can have all types of realities that will validate it, but it's your choice to hold that belief. It's not necessary. If you choose to believe that you are involved in some type of a past relationships that were simply somehow afflicted upon you, that's your choice. If you believe that you entered into some particular scenario to some family group, for example, because you were simply subjected to that without making the choice, then we would suggest that it's not that way. You chose to be involved. You choose to exist in that reality. And if it bothers you, if it's creating illusionary realities or feelings or emotions, it's important to understand that it's your choice. It was your choice to be involved, and it can be your choice to change. Or it can be your choice to continue to exist in that type of reality. It's not a right or wrong. It's your choice. It's a validation of your beliefs and belief systems. It's only right or wrong in your awakened consciousness state. We're not suggesting for an instant that for you to experience some type of disease is wrong. You can have that if that's what you desire. Absolutely. It's not a right or wrong, it's your choice. And it allows you to experience an intense range of emotions and feelings that are so associated with that particular creation process. But it's your choice. And many times you put that choice of beliefs and belief systems in place in your altered state of consciousness in that between incarnational state. And you put it in place in your DNA. You put it in place throughout your entire physical being. And so it becomes very difficult to alter that. It's like what you might refer to as an inherited type of reality that's difficult for you to step outside of, because it becomes involved now in the human consciousness belief system. That you have genetic disabilities, if you wish, that's very difficult for you to change. And it can be very difficult for you to change. We're not suggesting that it's easy, but nonetheless, it's important that you understand that it's your choice. At some level of your consciousness, you agreed to participate in those realities. It's your choice. And consequently, it's also your choice to change. If you desire. If you're completely in agreement with the reality that you experience, then you can enhance those beliefs. You can perpetuate the reality you experience. If you're not in a state where you're enjoying the reality you experience, then you can change that. Absolutely. And while it may not be possible to change those physical attributes that once again are embedded in your so-called genetic makeup in your DNA, you nonetheless can change in your awakened consciousness state what it is that you choose to believe in, what you choose to hold, whether you would fear or whether you would understand that the only thing to fear is fear that you create. You create your reality, including those particular realities that you fear. You create it all. You choose to be involved in this creation process. You choose to exist in this vibrational level. You are all that is. There is not one entity existing in this vibrational level or in any other vibrational level who is any more or any less than what each of you are. You are all that is. You create your reality. All of it. Whether you in your awakened consciousness state believe that it's negative or positive, from the level at which you create your reality, at that spark of consciousness that you are, that unconditional love base from which you create this reality, there is no such judgment. There is a rejoicing in the creation process. You exist in this vibrational level by choice. You see, you didn't enter into this vibrational level because there were certain lessons that you had to learn. You can have that if you wish. We're not suggesting that it's wrong, but it's your choice. If you choose to believe that you have to go through some type of spiritual growth, you can have that. If you choose to believe that there are certain lessons that you must learn through some type of progression, you can have that too. But it's your choice. It's not necessary. You choose to exist in this vibrational level. And you choose to exist in this vibrational level for a very, very simple reason. And the simplicity is almost disarming. But it's because you wish to experience that intense range of emotions and feelings that are not possible for you to experience when you understand that you are the creator of your reality. And we've used, as an example, many times the analogy that you enter into a theater and you watch someone's projection upon a screen, and you understand absolutely that that is someone's production of their concept of some type of experience, and you understand that it's simply a trick of lights, and you understand that the passage of time and that moments that you sit within the theater is illusionary. You understand that what's on that screen is an illusion, absolutely. And so while it doesn't invoke certain feelings, they're not the same feelings that you invoke when you enter into the real world. When you leave that theater, then you enter into the real world. Then things become real. And what was on the screen, you understand, was simply an illusion. But we're suggesting that the reality that you experience in your awakened consciousness state is also an illusion. You simply put in place this electromagnetic type of energy that limits your capacity to understand that it's an illusion, to understand that it's your projection of your thoughts and feelings, of your beliefs and belief systems, what it is that you desire to experience. Even though many times in your awakened consciousness state, you would not believe that that's what you desire. And yet, you continuously make the choices and decisions to perpetuate that reality. You continually hold those emotions, those thoughts and feelings. You make the choices and decisions and hold the beliefs that perpetuate the reality. Whether you in your awakened consciousness state view it as positive or negative is irrelevant. It's a validation of the beliefs you hold. It's an illusion. If you were to go within inside, if you learn to go within inside and to meditate and to alter your consciousness, and when you're in that altered state of consciousness, be aware that this veil that you exist in does not disappear, but continues to limit your capacity to get the perception of who and what you truly are. And so, even in that altered state of consciousness, you continue to produce these illusionary realities. And we would suggest that you put them aside. You put them aside and go deeper. And every time one of these illusionary realities comes into your thought process, you put it aside. And you continuously put it aside and put it aside until you realize that the spot that you end up at that particular understanding of who and what you truly are, that connection with that unconditional love that exists within each of you, when you reach that point, then you begin to understand why it's very difficult for you to give an explanation of that experience. It's an experience, it's an emotion and feeling that defies any type of explanation through the use of your vocabulary. It's something you can experience, but it's not something that you can express. And so we would encourage each of you, should you choose to have that understanding, to go within inside and to continuously put aside those illusionary realities that you continue to perpetuate and to create even in that altered state of consciousness until you reach that level of understanding of who and what you truly are. It's available to each of you. You have but to believe. We're not saying that it's easy for many, because you see, many believe that this meditation is difficult. It's only difficult because you believe it's difficult. It's not difficult. Put aside your conscious thoughts while maintaining awareness of what it is that you're experiencing. Alter your consciousness. It's really that simple. Utilize whatever technique works for you to put aside these interferences, if you wish, this veil that you perpetuate, that limit your capacity to understand who and what you truly are. For you are all that is. You create your reality. There is not one entity existing, once again, in your vibrational level or in any other vibrational level who is any more or any less than what each of you are. You create your reality. You are the God you search for, and you cannot fail to come to that understanding. You exist in this vibrational level by choice. You put in place that veil that limits the understanding of who and what you truly are, so that you can experience the intense range of emotions and feelings that are only possible when you understand that you're not in control, or when you believe that you're not in control of the reality that you're experiencing. It's a choice. You exist here by choice. You are not put here by some entity. There is no lesson to be learned unless it's one that you desire to put in place. There is no type of advancement that's necessary unless it's one that you desire to experience. But it's important to understand that it's what you desire. It's important to understand that it's your choice. It's important to understand that this reality is your creation, a validation of your beliefs and belief systems. What do you believe? The only limitation to your creation process is your imagination. What do you believe? Well now, it's been a very interesting afternoon. We have indeed experienced some very difficult interactions with entities who are having difficulties understanding this reality creation process. We would encourage you once again to go with inside. We would suggest to you that we are not separated by time or space. Time and space are illusionary, and should you choose to interact with us, you have but to express the intent, and we would welcome that opportunity to interact and to share with each of you. And so, until the next time that you offer us this opportunity, we would bid each of you farewell with love and with peace.